Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k 11th edition. One thing I want to do is I want to start off by showing you how to access the Warhammer community site. If you don't know this, if you're new, or if you just don't have this skill yet, it's very helpful. So you get yourself a web browser. Oh my goodness, what a cool YouTube channel. Let me start from the beginning here. Google Warhammer community. This is what you're looking for. This is what it looks like. Okay, and you can go to the Warhammer regular website and all that stuff from up here. It's all Games Workshop. Anyways, when new stuff comes out, you're looking for downloads, and then you go over here. Boom, and these are collapsible, right? These are collapsible. So faction packs, right? Here's the recently added. All of the faction packs, right? New Warhammer 40k. The core rules right here. Now, this is being filmed on June 12th of 2026. So if you get an Armageddon box, you're going to get your rule book and your cards pretty soon. But if you're like me and you're just getting a core rule book and then a set of cards, that won't be until like the week of the 27th. So we got to wait a little bit, but hey, Wapedia is going to have it. You know, go check it out. But the core rule books and the cards are going to be out soon. And here's where you can take a look at the rules. Loady, loady, load. Boom. Here's the rules that Games Workshop dropped. It's all Games Workshop stuff, right? Anyways, I wanted to show you that because if you don't know this skill, it's a really valuable skill because um, core rules and key downloads, when the balanced data slates come out, and when the field manuals come out, that's how you know what the new points are and if rules change for things. These two things is how you find those out. So it's a very valuable skill. Um, Another thing I wanted to show you guys is I'm going to show you a piece of information that's really helpful. It's new 11th edition stuff. Back to the community page. Down here where it has the articles about the faction packs, there's always cool articles in here. Check them out. This one right here, it has this chart, which is going to be they're going to publish it. There's going to be in the faction packs. There's going to be a file, whatever. There's going to be a way to get to it besides this article. Right now we have this article. Um, but anyways, I'll go over this chart. I just wanted to show you where to get it and where to look at it. I'm filming all this through the eyes of a Tyranid player. So, anyways, I wanted to start off with that. Okay, so let's look at the chart that we were just talking about. So, one of the things that's new to 11th edition is you will choose your detachments based off of a detachment point system. So I saw the chart before. I know that 2,000 points is 3 DP, so that's detachment points. So my invasion fleet is worth 3 detachment points. I love invasion fleet. That is all you can get. I think 1,000 is 2 detachment points, and I think 3,000 is 4 detachment points. It scales, so like maybe 500 would be 1 detachment point. That's not really feasible, but yeah. Anyways, there's a chart for that too. Um, One thing I think is interesting is let's see, a Vanguard Invader, 2 detachment points, and a Ambush Predators. I think that would work out really well together. Just like a Talons of the Norn Queen and a Crusher Stampede together. And I'm going to start doing reviews on these. This is one of those videos, and you'll sort of see where they build together, the smaller ones and the bigger ones. Right now, the invasion fleet, crusher stampede, assimilation swarm, the stuff that we already had, that's going to stay the same right now. I'm sure it will get new info. We already got the what's going to come in the next 6 months codex list, and Tyranids was one of them, which gagged me with a spoon. When you're at the beginning of the cycle, you're always at the bottom of the power creep, and Tyranids will now be near the beginning at the beginning or near the beginning of the 3-year cycle 2 times in a row, and I just roll my eyes so freaking hard. I don't think we did terrible in 10th, but I definitely think we could have done better. Um, Anyways, so This is how much your detachment points are worth. That tells you what you can combine. Now, this has to do with your mission. I don't know what happens when you have two detachments. So, like if you had disruption and reconnaissance, I don't know if you pick one. I don't know that rule yet, but you compare your detachment force disposition versus your opponent's detachment force disposition, and then that determines different parts of the mission that you play. There's like a compare this to this chart. Um, so I wanted to show you that chart. Um, so this is the first one. It's worth 1 point because we just looked at it. It's ambush predators. It's worth 1 point. I think it would go really good with Vanguard. So detachments are moving to a place where the bigger ones have a broader effect, and then the smaller ones have a more localized effect, where it's just certain units. So take a look at this: Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor. And this seems to affect Death Leapers, Lictors, Neurolictors, and Von Ryan's Leapers, and that's it. So, like the Talons of the Norn Queen just affects emissaries and assimilators. That's it. So it makes sense that they would be cheaper. Okay, cheaper. Um, so Mind Hunters is what it's called, which is pretty freaking cool. Death Leapers, Lictors, Neurolictors get Deep Strike. Oh my gosh, they've deserved it for so long. Friendly Lictor and Neurolictor, just Lictor and Neurolictor. Units attacks that target a character can reroll ones, hit rolls of ones. I think that's pretty good. Here is another thing. So enhancements are moving to this thing called upgrades. Some upgrades are for your characters, like your enhancements in 10th, and some upgrades are for your units, which is pretty cool. So encircling horrors, Neurolictor, Von Ryan Leapers, unit only. Neurolictor, Lictor, Von Ryan Leapers, units only. In your opponent's movement phase, when an enemy unit ends a move within 8 inches of this unit can make a normal move of up to D3 plus 3. That's pretty cool for lurking, like jumping on the other side of a piece of terrain, ruining their charge. It's when they move, sorry, during their movement phase. Yeah, so you'd want to use it to get away and hide. So it's definitely a reactionary thing. Crypto Photanic Camouflage. Von Ryan Leapers unit only. This unit has a -3 detection range. I think detection range is either 12 or 15 inches. Um, but anyways, it lessens the detection range, which is cool. Um, Counter predation. So these are the stratagems. They're worth 1 CP, 1 CP, 1 CP. When fight phase. When a friendly Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor, Von Ryan's Leapers unit is selected to fight, that Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor, Von Ryan's Leapers unit as the target effect, your unit's attacks that target a hidden unit have +1 strength and -1 AP. So hidden is a new thing. It's when your unit is inside of terrain and they did not shoot. They then become hidden. And I believe when you're hidden, your detection range, I want to say is 12. It's either 12 or 15. That means anyone outside of 12 or 15 cannot see you. Whichever one it is, your detection range is either 12 or 15. But so this is saying they get a +1 strength and AP against units that are hidden. So units that didn't shoot during their shooting phase, which is interesting. And people are going to do it for sure. People are going to hide for sure. Hypersensory adaptation when start of your shooting phase. So one thing that people are talking about is there's a lot more start of this phase, start of that phase. And in this case, it's not really gonna muck anything up. But in some cases, you will have to spend the stratagem at the beginning of that phase, anticipating something will happen that might not happen. So you could spend for a stratagem and then it does not happen. There are some examples of that. Anyway, so this one is start of your shooting phase. Target friendly Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor, of Von Ryan's Leapers. Effect. Select one visible enemy unit within 12 of your unit. That enemy unit has +6 detection range. So basically, you're using the Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor, Von Ryan Leapers to like scout a enemy that is hidden and make their detection range larger. Because that says 12 there, it makes me think that detection range is 12. Scanner Geist. End of your opponent's fight phase. Target one friendly engaged Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor effect. Place your unit in strategic reserve. Target one friendly unengaged. I'm sorry, unengaged Death Leaper, Lictor, Neurolictor. So you pull them off the board. If you're dealing with like a Moloch or a Trigon, that's some uppy downy right there. Um, and play an uppy downy with a Moloch, you're gonna get more mortal wounds out of him popping back up. Which now that mortal wounds are unsavable, but that's probably a subterranean assault thing. Let's look back at the chart. Oh, chart, chart. Subterranean assault. It's 3. Yeah, I should have guessed it's 3. But anyways, that's ambush predators. Like I said, I can see a strong case for combining it, sorry, with Vanguard Onslaught because Von Ryan's Leapers are good in that. The Death Leaper can be the Warlord in there. That's definitely a good place for lictors. And you can stack things, okay? So, for example, if you put Ambush Predators and Vanguard Onslaught together, um, Von Ryan's Leapers are a Vanguard unit. So Von Ryan's Leapers would be able to move and charge after they advance. And then if they were attacking a character, they would reroll their ones. Or maybe you gave them, one of these adaptations or upgrades. Sorry. Um, yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's going to result in a lot of cool combinations, particularly as they update the previous detachments and make them more 11th compliant. I've already seen a couple of rules that they're going to have to rewrite for 11th stratagems and things like that because the things that trigger them or cause them to happen no longer exist. Like Big Guns Never Tire is gone. And there's a very similar but different rule in its place. You got to catch how it's similar but different. I'll go into that in my video or a video I'm going to make about it. But anyways, super happy to share this stuff with you guys. I'm going to continue to review and talk about this stuff. Keep in mind that a big chunk of this is open to change because if you've been around in 40K for long enough, you will buy a brand new codex that is fresh off the shelf, fresh out of the box at your local gaming store, and it's already been errated to hell. It happened with Imperial Guard. It happened with Sisters of Battle. Their core army rules were different before you opened the codex, and you already needed to go to the community page to look up how it was changed before you even got the codex, which is a huge point of frustration. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about the stupid things that Games Workshop does because they do some silly things, right? Right, everybody, right? But we're in an abusive relationship with them, and we give them our money. Anyways, Um, I love sharing this content. I love 11th edition. I want to be out here teaching you guys and playing it with you guys. I'm always going to love my NIDs. I've got a giant place in my heart for my Necrons. I love my Imperial Guard. Um, I don't know. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I love my Imperial Guard. I'm going to play Knights this edition. I'm going to play Knights. I got to do it. Got to follow my heart. Um, yeah. So, anyways, I'm going to continue to show you NID stuff. I'm going to continue to play my NIDs because I love them so much. Love being a part of the NID community. But yeah, you're also going to hear me talk about Knights. So, anyways, we here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time with us at the Dragon's Lair.